What did I do after the blow-up doll? Yeah, so I did Mac DeCocko. I had learned, like, 5 minutes before going on stage that my childhood cat had run away. So I was a little bit out of it. I was a little like, am I never gonna see my cat again? But I kind of just kept telling myself, like, my cat'll come back. It'll be fine. My cat didn't come back. So it was actually quite sad. That was a lot to take in, while also being dressed up as Mac DeMarco and having to perform on stage. Oh yeah, there's this moment where I'm like taking the hoodie off and like it isn't coming off. But like again, it felt super long in the moment, but then it actually wasn't that long. At that point, this was definitely the most, like, performance-y thing I had done. Oh yeah, and I was, like, struggling to put my bra on, because I'm more of a sports bra person. I don't like doing the claspy thing. So I got my friend Fern to help with that. Like, Mac DeMarco isn't really, like, drag territory, but it was such a drag kind of song. And, yeah, I remember, like, bringing my friend Poppy up and doing a little dance. And it was kind of nice because she had red hair at that point, and I had a red wig on, so it kind of felt like this mirror of, like, a mirror image, almost, but, like, my image is, like, my hair is all over the place, and I'm just very, like, haphazardly put together. So it was nice. It was really fun. Again, just a really fun performance. And now we are on to February of... Oh my god, is it 2019? This was another act I did with Molly, and this time Poppy as well. And yeah, this was like the first time where I felt like, okay, this is like multiple people, and we're gonna do like, just put on a show. And we did like this B-52s look, and we were the Lobsters, and I had this like lobster safety pin to my crotch, and they ripped my pants off, and we had all these like beach kind of things. Yeah, like Molly and Poppy, like I was like, because I'm such a square, so I was like, we gotta practice and we gotta rehearse, and they show up and they're like pretty tipsy already, and we're trying to do the dances as well as get ready, and we have like, I think we had like maybe an hour to do makeup, costume, and rehearse. And they were both quite tipsy, and so I was just like, oh, we gotta do the hair and the makeup, and I'm like freaking out, and they're just like, we should make out, like, we should just like all make out at the end of it, and they're like planning with themselves to like just do all these crazy things, and I'm like stressing out because I have to like put my mustache on and everything. And then we get there, and it's amazing. It's still one of my favorite performances we've done. I just look like such a like 70s porn star in it. It just is so... And those stripper pants. So yeah, so at Mac DeCocko, I also had the stripper pants. And like on the way to the show, my stripper pants kept falling down. I just, because they were too small and the Velcro was just super cheap, so I kept walking, and then luckily I had like beige leggings underneath, but they just kept falling down, and I swear like the people on the way to DUMK, the people who saw us were just like, why does this person not have, like, their pants are just ripping. And the same thing happened with this, especially because I had like the lobster cock. And they would always fall off right before I would want to take them off. It was always so annoying because it's like, if they just held up like few seconds more. I loved the mustache. I loved the lobster cock. I had lobster hands that I forgot to use. And Molly and Poppy were just amazing as the B-52s girls, and they just looked so cool. I was kind of testing out the act I was going to do after this, Cux Interior, and I wanted to sort of climb on the banister a little bit because I'd seen other drag performers do it, and I thought that's super cool. I want to do that. Oh yeah, and then like I pretended to be dead, and they were just like so into it. It was great. And I kind of like shake myself back up. It's probably really weird watching these without the music because I don't think I can put the music on because of copyright. But just imagine Rock Lobster by B-52s is on. And then Molly and Poppy started making out at the end, and I was kind of just like, okay, just you guys do you. And it was great. I almost forgot one of my favorite catcall stories in drag. So, on the way back, my friends had gone to go to a party, and I was walking, because I didn't live very far, and I was walking back home, and I decided to just take the stripper pants off because they were falling off, and I was just, like, done with them. I was just like, I don't want to wear these anymore. So, I put the towel that I think Molly had brought around my waist, and I had the mustache off because that was always falling off as well, so it just looked like I was in, like, a button-down shirt and a towel, which isn't so great to be walking home back at night in just, like, a shirt and a towel. I remember there were these guys coming towards me and I was expecting them to catcall me, then they didn't, but then I thought to myself, if somebody catcalls me, I literally have a lobster cock on my crotch that I could just flash them with, and that would be amazing. And then I never hoped to be catcalled, but this was, like, the one time I wanted to. And, like, right after that, there were these guys that were like, hey, baby, you know, they were just, like, saying something. And I immediately was just, like, flashed them with my lobster cock. And they were just like, what the hell, is she on drugs? And I just started, like, running away giggling, and it was the best. It was just, like, the best moment. I, like, called my friends right after. I was like, guys, I just flashed someone with my lobster cock. They were catcalling me, and it was so funny. And they were, like, really concerned. They were like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want me to come get you? Are you okay? And I was like, no, it's fine. Go to the party. I'm going home. I just wanted to tell you, that was, like, the most hilarious moment of my life. That was just so amazing. Like, you had to be there. It was a good moment. Cux Interior was my next act, and I really wanted to push it. I wanted to be like Lux Interior. This is just removing all of my makeup. So I kind of put together my own mix. And at first I was, like, thinking about doing, like, growing up as a guy, because it's teenage werewolf. Like, I wasn't really sure of the theme. And then I was thinking, oh, what if I do, like, toxic masculinity? Because I hadn't really done a lot of research on it. And I was thinking, like, oh, that could be kind of cool. Like, I can look into, like, all of these, like, alpha male. I think it started off as being, like, an alpha male sort of thing. Because I thought it would be funny. Because, like, alpha male and wolf, right? Like, teenage werewolf, you know, get it?
What's up, fellas? So, today I'm here to teach you guys how to go from beta to alpha.
Then I saw more alpha male stuff, and then it just ended up being this whole thing on, like, toxic masculinity. And I have, like, Jordan Peterson voicing Kermit. Like, I got a whole Kermit doll just for, like, a little gag.
I like the masculine spirit. It's necessary, and it's not fundamentally carnage and pillaging.
So yeah, that was, like, the first time where I was really into the mix and, like, the message behind it. Yeah, I had, like, this one soundbite from Elliot Rodger, and which would probably be more controversial if people actually knew what was happening, but it was just so chaotic. And I kept grabbing things out from my chest. That's where I store my props.
For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires. All because girls have never been attracted to me.
Masturbation is touching or stimulating his sexual organs, causing the penis to become erect.
But it was so good, it was so fun. I keep saying that. It was so good, it was so fun, and it was a total mess, but I don't care, because it was fun. It's essentially my drag. It's chaotic, but it's fun, so I don't care if it sucks. I had, like, a little dick water gun that I shot people with. I, like, got on the banister and I started shooting people with the dick water gun after I, like, punished Elliot Rodger.
You stand convicted of assholism. The proper punishment will now take place.
Yeah, and then afterwards, again, we went to a different bar, and, my friends and I we all looked so bizarre that night. Mostly me. Because I, like, was wearing a little fake dick. I should show you guys my fake dick. This is my fake dick. This is one of the few props, maybe the only prop, that made it to back home with me after I left England in such a hurry because of COVID, leaving all of my drag props behind, except my dick. So yeah, so then we went to this other bar, and like, I think I had like a jacket on, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna show that I have like, just like this fake little dick and a fake chest and everything. But then I was like, I really just want to dance on the dance floor with my fake little dick out and everything. It's such a bizarre video. It's like Kate Bush is in the background, and I'm dancing with my friends, and all of the bartenders were just giving us these like really weird looks, like what is going on over there? And I was like shooting my friends with my dick gun. My friend Poppy accidentally dropped it, and there was like water everywhere, and the dick broke, and I was like, you broke my dick! But it was really funny. Oh yeah, I did Coxy music. My mom, when she saw me, shout out to my mom, when she saw me do Rebel Without a Cock with the blow-up doll, she was like, oh my god, you should do In Every Dream Hum a Heartache. And it's a song by Roxy Music that I hadn't known of that was about blow-up dolls. And so I was like, well, I have a blow-up doll, so. And I put the blow-up doll in a suitcase, and I couldn't fit her all the way, so I just had the legs sticking out. And I was like, that's kind of morbid, I like it, you know, so I was just like wheeling around with this leg sticking out, and everybody was again giving me sort of weird looks. Like, what's up with that? So I was trying to think of how to make Roxy music into this act, and it either had to be a blow-up doll, but it's a long song and there's quite a lot of build-up. So I was like, maybe I'll just like hand roses out to people. And it was really nice because I hadn't interacted with people in the audience as much. Like, I really wanted to start interacting more with the audience and give them roses. And it was really nice afterwards, like after I got off stage, seeing a bunch of people with like roses in their hair and stuff. I was like, oh, they appreciate the roses. There was one guy, and I think he was like he was on his phone or something, and I was like trying to hand him a rose. And I should have just moved on, but I was like in character, and I was like, here's a rose. Have my rose. And he just wasn't even paying attention. I was like, I don't think he knew that I was like the performer. I think he just thought I was some weirdo in the audience just like trying to give him a rose, because he was so far back, because I don't think he saw me go on the stage. Yeah, so there's like all this build up, so I'm like passing roses out to people, and then finally it just like goes, you know, if you listen to it, it's just like, you know, like just goes, and then I'm like just totally go for it and pretend to have sex with a blow-up doll on stage in front of everybody, because that's what I do.
What you blew my mind.
Again, a very crude, just bizarre act. Somebody came up after me, this older woman, who probably listened to Roxy music when they were first coming out, and was like this cool, you know, glam lady. I think she said it would be a travesty if you lost, and I wasn't doing it to like win lip sync or whatever. I was just doing it for fun. But like, the fact that she said travesty to describe like if I didn't win, because my lip sync was so beautiful, it would be a travesty. That was when I was like, I felt very validated as you know, I was like, man, I'm a drag artist, you know, people recognize my art. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm using Scar Wax, and I don't know how to use it. I've never used it before, so this is gonna be awful. Oh my god, yeah. No, the fucking... I did the abortion... What was it called? I think it was called, like, the Abortionator or something that night. I just gave up the cock act and was like, I'm gonna be the Abortionator. And I had, like, this prosthetic old man mask. That was another really fun mix. It's like 5 minutes of just conservative politicians just being like, yeah, women need it, even if they're suffering and they don't want the child, they need to have the child, blah, 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 blah. Just all these, like, really creepy sound bites.
Life is winning again in America. But it is no more evident than in the historic election of a president who I proudly say stands for the right to life, President Donald Trump.
Oh, also that night, I had a Julie Ruin song. I think it's called Ha Ha Ha. And that played, and I really wasn't expecting, you know, usually when I play songs, people, like, enjoy them, but they don't always, it's not, like, something that's really gonna rile up the club, you know? Everybody, like, freaked out. And it was also, like, there were a lot of women that night, which was good. But, like, everybody was, like, screaming and so into it, and I was like, whoa, we got Julie Ruin fans here? Like, oh my god. And then Under My Skin by Frank Sinatra. And then I, like, revealed this little, like, blow-up stomach that I had improvised, this little balloon. I drew a little fetus on it. And I popped it with a coat hanger, which is probably a bit insensitive. But so is not allowing women to have rights over their bodies, so...
To life. This bill is about control. Give it over, Thomas!
Yeah, it was after, because, you know, like, Trump was president, and it just kept feeling like he was gonna try shit with Roe v. Wade, and it was just like, what's going on in my country, man? So yeah, so I did that, and then I kicked a baby doll around, and it was really, like, because if I'm just having a discussion with people, I wouldn't be like, yeah, dad, baby, yeah, you know, like, obviously that's not how I feel, it's a very sensitive issue, but it kind of goes back to that, like, Iggy Cock thing of just, like, when you're on stage, you just gotta go for it, and you just gotta do it, and, you know, I was, like, thinking, like, what, you know, I just forced people to listen to, like, 5 minutes of awful sound bites about politicians not wanting women to have, rights over their body, and how can I, like, relieve this tension, this, like, mood I've set? And I was like, the only way I can do that is if I just drop kick a baby doll, you know, like, that's the only way. And so I did that, you know, and normally if I would have a conversation, I'd be like, you know, it's really about, like, women's choice, and blah, 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 and I'd be more rational and sensitive, but it's a performance, so you kind of have to be a bit extreme. And I remember afterwards, like, my friends were all dancing with the baby doll, and it was just, like, this baby doll in the club. It was, yeah, that was great. Oh my god, I can't open this. So I realized I'm getting ahead of myself. All the issues I had with that, I'm just gonna have to redo. Not that I got very far, but... So, yeah, so the abortion thing was definitely my most political act. Was feeling very upset and was wanting to, do something about it. Started just feeling like, yeah, maybe I'll be more political. So I did this climate change act because the rainforests in Brazil were burning. And I was getting into Extinction Rebellion more, and I was just, like, really upset about everything, like, with climate change and just, like, how screwed we all are. And I was just, like, I'm upset. I want to say something about it. And so I did this, like, ridiculous act where half of it's, like, really depressing sound bites of, like, rainforests are burning and we're all doomed. And then the other half is, like, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes, like those sorts of songs.
Hot in here, Mrs. Bob. Why is it so hot in here? It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
And just being really ridiculous, taking off my clothes and having, like, feather boa arm sleeves and a fire crotch and just having a good time,
Regardless, the impact of these fires could be devastating in the fight against climate change.
Where... Let's see if this works. This will be fun to do the rest of my makeup. Fuck. Oh no. It's falling apart in my hands. Okay. I just keep sticking more crap to myself. It's more of an art project than makeup, I really kind of tried to be more, like, theatrical in this one.
Everybody knows things are bad. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And it was the first one that I did a second one of. And it was the first act I actually did outside of DYMK, which was a big step for me. And I went to London and had to, like, come back to Bournemouth in the middle of the night. It was such a, like, long... I should have just stayed there overnight, but I was like, no, I don't want to stay at a hotel. But it was so fun. I went to Royal Vauxhall Tavern and for Tuesday bar whatever, and it was just, like, such a fun night. Everyone there was such an amazing performer. I was a little like, what am I doing? I don't know. But everybody there was so welcoming, and it was so fun meeting new people and being in London and, like, feeling like, ooh, I'm performing in London. Okay, I don't know. I'm debating whether I should just put both on right now or if this is gonna just, like, seriously inhibit my eyesight, but I think I'm just gonna put both on. I did that act. It's kind of a way of, like, coping with all the shit news about climate change and kind of making it fun, but not really. But, you know, like, putting a twist on it and being educational but also entertaining. Going to bar whatever and Royal Vauxhall Tavern really was, like, refreshing, and I think it was just, like, such a nice thing to do, especially because I'd only been performing at DYMK, and I didn't really feel like I was, I felt like, yeah, I'm kind of a drag performer, but I'm not really, like, I'm not really serious, you know? You know, I'm not really, like, you know, I always kind of felt like, oh, yeah, but I'm not, like, that great at makeup or dancing, and it was nice to kind of have a space where whatever the weird stuff I'm doing, whatever it is, you know, like, people can appreciate it and enjoy it, and it doesn't have to be, like, super polished, like, Drag Race, or it doesn't have to be, like, I don't know, it can just be, like, my weird performance art thing, and people will enjoy it, even if it's a bit out there. I can't see that well, so this is gonna make the rest of this, like, if you've thought it was bad up until this point, just watch me while I'm half blind now. So that was a big, like, kind of moment for me to think, like, oh, I might actually want to perform at other places, and maybe this isn't just like an open mic thing, it's like I actually want to do this more and try it out more. And coming back from it, though, was fucking miserable. Like, I had to take a train at like midnight, maybe was the last train to Bournemouth, maybe earlier. And it's like 2 hours back to Bournemouth, and like I was in this weird stop, and I had to take an Uber to get to the next station. And I remember the Uber driver was nice. He was like, I don't want to leave you at night, you know. And I was like, it's cool, man, it's cool, it'll be okay. I had to wait around an hour for a bus. The bus finally came. I had to walk like another half hour back to my apartment with all of my drag props, my whole huge bag of drag props. It was exhausting, to say the least. I like got in at like 3 or 4 in the morning after traveling like pretty much all day. If you perform somewhere that you don't live, you should probably just get a cheap hotel. Like, that's kind of what I learned. Just get the cheap hotel. Okay, I skipped around a bit. So, getting so much crap on myself. So one of my favorite acts was the one I did in September of 2019. I don't know, I was dealing with a lot of rejection, a lot of feelings of just like, I wasn't feeling good about my drag, I wasn't feeling good about like my work and all of that, and I was just like, I don't know, I just felt like, you know when you just feel like such a weirdo? So I was indulging in that a lot, that feeling of like, oh, I'm such a weirdo, and so I was like, I'm gonna make a drag act about this.
They want you to get drunk and feel like you belong.
Well, it was fun.
Because they make you feel cool. And hey, I met you. You are not cool.
I know. Even when I thought I was, I knew I wasn't.
Because we are uncool.
Make some noise for PowerCuck!
I think it's one of my favorite acts, and it's not just because I crowd surf at the end, though that has a lot to do with it. But it's definitely like not one that I think a lot of people would appreciate, you know. It's not my most like radical or kind of out there or funny or whatever. It's kind of just like, I'm talking like I have like so many drag fans. It's really like 5 of my friends. Oh god, I just fucked that up. Whatever, just fuck it. But I really liked it. It kind of helped me cope with a lot of these feelings, and I had a lot of good sound bites, and I just feel like it really was one of the ones that used a lot of, one of my mixes that told a story. I got to bring up a lovely drag queen I know, Aurora's Boring, up on the stage with me, and do a little twirl, and got to like go next to Crystal Lubricant and say like a soundbite from The Meaning of Life. And like while I was putting my arm around her, like she was like, "You smell so nice," and I was like trying really hard not to crack up.
I'll show you something. That's where I was born. You know, one day my mother, she put me on her knee and she said to me, "Gaston, my son, the world is a beautiful place, and go into it and love everyone, and bring peace and contentment everywhere you go." So I became a waiter. Well, it's not much of a philosophy, I know. Well, fuck you. I can live my own life in my own way if I want to. Fuck off.
Yeah, it was just like a nice act to kind of, because I was just so like angsty and just being like, nobody gets it. And like, they all get it, you know? People always get it. This looks awful. Yeah, I just felt like I was able to really be vulnerable and just take my time with that act, even though everybody was probably like, why is this person just like saying a bunch of sound bites for like 5 minutes? What's going on? And yeah, the makeup was fun to do. This kind of felt like, okay, this is Coq Monsieur, you know? This is what Coq Monsieur is like. I did like the makeup based off of this painting. And I used this soundbite from World According to Garp with Robin Williams, and it's this really, my family watched that movie like right after he died, and there's this really heartbreaking soundbite from it. He was talking about this short story he's writing to the character who plays his mom, and he's just like, you know, this guy with the magic gloves, like he's got these magic gloves, but and he can make everybody happy, and he can make them forget all their problems, but the thing is he can't feel anybody. He wants to feel. And so he decides to take off his gloves, and as he's falling to his death, he can finally feel life. And it's just such a heartbreaking quote, especially from him, but it was so beautiful, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that.
I want to be an artist, and I want to know what you thought of it.
I'm not sure I understand.
He can do wonders when he's wearing his magic gloves. If his wife is sad, he just touches her with his gloves and she's happy. If his children are crying, he just touches them and they smile. But he can't feel them. He yearns to feel. He can even hold up death with his magic gloves, but he can't feel life. So he takes off the gloves, dies, but finally feels life flying into the arms of death.
So I'm like trying to kind of tell everybody to lift up their hands, but like in an artistic way. Because I had invited some friends, and I was like, okay, you guys gotta like be right there when I need you to be, because I'm gonna fall if you don't, because I don't think other people are gonna really be expecting me to crowd surf on them. I was like, lift up your hands, and you can kind of see in the video I'm like pacing, and I look over and I realize that only like 2 of my friends are by the banister where I need them to catch me. And so I'm kind of hoping that people will get the hint and come over, and my friends will like come over, but they're all the way in the back and it's crowded. And I'm like looking, and more people are starting to lift up their hands. So I'm finally just like, either I crowd surf or I don't, but it's gonna look really weird if I don't crowd surf, so I just gotta do it. So I go on the banister, and I kind of look at my 2 friends who are about to have to like catch me. Yeah, I kind of have this moment where I turn around and I'm like, for me, again, it felt like a lifetime. In the video, it's only a few seconds. Like I don't even hesitate in the video, but in my mind I'm just like, oh my god, am I really gonna do this? Like, what if they don't catch me and I get a concussion or something? I don't know. And then I just have this voice where it's just like, you just gotta do it. You just gotta trust fall on all of these people unexpectedly, and you just have to do it, because otherwise this whole thing will look really stupid. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna do it. And that all happened in the span of like a second in the video.
Stop.
I just remember that moment of falling and just being like, oh my god, and then being caught, and like my friends were kind of struggling to catch me, and then I think people kind of understood like, oh, she's crowd surfing, and so they kind of started catching me. And I remember just having this weird like, I was expecting to just be caught and that would be it, but then people started carrying me, and I was actually crowd surfing, and it was the best, like one of the best feelings of my life. So for like 30 seconds, I'm just being carried, and it feels like I'm floating. It's so great. And I was also kind of worried about crowd surfing, because I'd heard like, oh, if you're a woman and you crowd surf, people are gonna grope you and all that, but you don't really have to worry about that as much at DMK. And I don't know, it was just such a great feeling to be like in this club and just being carried by everybody. And it was also kind of it was touching because it had been like kind of this rough summer, feeling kind of isolated, and then I had this like nice moment of the crowd kind of, you know, like coming together and helping me back onto the stage, and it just felt really heartwarming and nice. It's definitely one of my favorite ones because it was very personal, and it was very like, it just, all of the sound bites and everything just kind of expressed exactly what I wanted to express, all of the like existential crisis crap I was going through, and just like, what am I doing, and nobody gets me, and
Tell me what to believe in, who to vote for, who to love, and how to tell them. I just think I want someone to tell me how to live my life, Father, because so far I think I've been getting it wrong. So just tell me what to do.
What are you talking about? My God, pull yourself together! What are you doing? Is this a question? Go, confront the problem, fight, win!
And definitely crowd surfing was my favorite part. That was just like, I was on such a high afterwards. Like, I was rushing up to my friends like, oh my god, that was amazing, oh my god, ah. Like, I was just like, it felt like, you know, I had some sort of, I think people probably thought I was on drugs, you know, because it just was like, this is amazing. And then after this, I did the Powerpuff Girls act, which I talked about earlier, so I'm just gonna like edit this so it's like goes back in time. Yeah, so I was dressed up as Mojo Jojo. I had been wanting to do a Powerpuff Girls drag act for a long time. I think because I really wanted to be him from Powerpuff Girls, because I had like these great red boots, and I also had like the lobster claws from Lobsters, and I really wanted an excuse to use them. But then I was like looking at all the other stuff I needed, and I already had a monkey mask for personal use, so I had this. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just be Mojo Jojo, and then I like paper maché'd my bin to do the helmet, so it kind of is bin shaped, because I just put a bunch of plastic wrap on my bin and then I just did it.
Peace, wonderful peace, incredible peace, nice peace, quiet peace, boring peace. It's driving me crazy.
And that was great because I got to get a lot of my friends together. Molly again as Bubbles, and Cena as Buttercup, and Holly as Blossom, and then my friend Pedro as Professor X, and he makes like a surprise appearance. I remember like I love how like Chris Lubricant is just like, what the fuck? like what's going on?
Holy shit! I wasn't expecting a fourth opponent, but no matter, I will eliminate you in an alternate manner. Bring it on, Daddy-o. Oh, that is so lame. You will pay for your use of inappropriate dialogue.
I also enjoyed this one because I was wearing a mask the whole time, so I literally did not practice lips. Like, it was similar to Cock Lobsters, where we had like maybe an hour before to actually get the lip syncing and everything done. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't need to move my mouth, because I did not have a lot of time to rehearse this. Low effort drag, just wear a monkey mask. Yeah, and then my friend got me this gift. It was like this little, it was another little dick. Yeah, so he got me this like little fake dick, and then the whole performance just became like, let's make Mojo Jojo into this like fraudering, creepy sexual harassing monkey, and then the Powerpuff Girls come in and just like rip his dick off and feed it to him, and that kind of just became the act. We didn't really know what was going on. Nobody really knew what was going on. We didn't even know.
What the fuck's going on?
It was the PowerCuck Girls, is what we called ourselves, or they called themselves, because I was merely just Mojo Jojo. Yeah, it was great. That was like my favorite ones are usually the ones where I'm performing with people. Those are always the fun ones. Is this dry? 'Cause it just feels more like a performance, you know? It feels more like actually like acting with people. Not that it's like, you know, it just feels more it's funner when you do it with other people, you know? It was such a crowded night though. That was like the one part that I didn't really enjoy, was that there were a lot of people who didn't seem like DYMK regulars. They seemed like they were just there for the Halloween stuff. Besides the few people who were kind of annoying to be around, it was like I had been wanting to do a Powerpuff Girls act for a long time, so it was really nice to finally do that.
No, that's it. I'm done. I quit. I give up. I tried. I really tried. For years and years I've been trying to take over the world, but I guess the universe doesn't want me to have it. So I'm gone. Forget it. The only sad thing is the world would have ruled if I was in charge. But now, you'll never know. I'll never know. And so, my sweets, I, Jojo, am Mojo, no more. And so, I